After mastering the art of reselling within my cozy neighborhood, I decided to pack my bags and keep driving until I arrived at an abandoned gas station with secrets ready to be uncovered. Join me as I turn this ransacked and scruffy station into a vibrant and busy place for you to bring the family and make me rich. Again. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're ready to go on this adventure with me, then my name is NooBee, and this is 100 Days of Gas Station Simulator. With a quick drive down a dirty road in the middle of nowhere, we come across the absolute wreck that is the Dust Bowl gas station. I saw big potential for this place, and put in a few calls to get the place for myself. You are now looking at the new owner of the Dust Bowl, so let's get our first day going strong. Day 0 began by introducing our guy to his new business, and flipping the generator on to bring life to the almost demolished gas station. I heard the ringing of a phone, and I looked around to find a payphone near the road. I walked over and picked up the phone, only to find that it was my uncle on the other side. "What are you doing calling me, uncle?" Turns out that he was once the owner of the Dust Bowl, and he has some good tips and tricks that he would like for me to know. I won't lie, the man was a yapper, so I walked off and began my own work, starting with taking the excavator and digging up the sandpile debris to give future customers a smoother drive. Now, the number one thing a gas station needs is gas, right? So let's grab some. I opened my computer and put in an order for some more fuel. Whilst the delivery took its time, I explored the complete mess surrounding the station and found an arcade game, so I thought, why not? It was a cool little RC track, and although it was entertaining, I was extremely bad at it. Eventually, the truck came around and I noticed there was actually Elon Musk delivering my oil. Guess Tesla went downhill a little bit. The fuel finished up, and coincidentally, my first customer came rocking up to the fuel pump, so I ran to his aid and filled up his gas tank. My first dollar in the bag. Looking around, I could see that this place really needed a lot of work, so to start, I cleaned up some of the trash from inside the station and ordered a trash collection to clear the garbage up completely. During this, I heard giggling from outside, so I looked around and saw Dennis laughing his little face off and spray painting my walls. Really not cool, dude. I picked up a tire from the floor, and with the might of Zeus, I slammed that rubber into his head so hard that he ran away. I carried on my day and did some devious things by picklocking a customer's car, and honestly, I'm not too sure why I did this, but it rewarded me with a couple of dollars and a painting, which I later posted up in the gas station. The station was now looking a little more suitable for customers, so I bought some food and drink stands to place down, as well as some more parking spots. I heard the phone ring again, and it was Uncle telling me how some things worked. I zoned out like last time, and in the end, Uncle ended up restocking my shelves for me. What a nice guy. Well, that's what I thought at least, but after doing so, he hit me with a $5,000 loan that I had to pay off. Thanks, dude, I really appreciate that. As customers started coming in, I stood by the checkout counter and got some work done, and as time went on, I began to hear the sounds of a guitar getting closer and closer. This is really weird. Turns out it was just Ghost Elvis, so I'm guessing he's going to be a regular visitor from now on. Before our first day ended, I paid off what I could from the loan and carried on working hard at the checkout counter until nightfall. Days 1 and 2 started with a quick yawn and a skim through my mail. Nothing too important to report, just letting me know how some things worked. The loan timer was ticking down so fast, and the realization slowly hit that I would not be able to repay this all anytime soon. I still did my best throughout the days and spent my time hitting checkouts, getting tips, and refueling customers' cars. After some time, the loan deadline hit 0, and some tough guy came up to me and gave me a right hook and stomped on my face. I don't like that. My eyes started to open up, and after some time, I saw the boot of a countryman coming to my rescue. I think this could be Uncle. I slowly recovered and ended up waking up on day 3, where I stood up out of bed and once again heard the noise of the phone ringing. I limped my way over and answered, only to hear Uncle's voice letting me know that he gave my money back and that I didn't need to worry about it just yet. That's good, I guess, but I still got stomped on. I left him to talk his mouth off while I booted up the computer and attempted to look at the decorations. During so, I accidentally bought a relatively ugly landmark, and I'm really not happy about it, because not only did I spend money that I needed, but it just looks really bad. I was ready to see what this place could become, so I focused up and upgraded the gas station to level 2, giving me the ability to gain more upgrades that would benefit my money making. This upgrade also enabled me to unlock the warehouse. The warehouse is our main storage facility that will be able to hold more and more as time goes on, so it is very useful. After all of these upgrades to the station, my money was starting to look a little low, so I took some hours out of my day and worked back and forth between the checkout counter and the fuel pump, giving customers my best service possible. This seemed to be working quite well as our money kept getting higher and higher, so I decided to spend some of it and purchased a new warehouse upgrade, boosting my maximum storage count up some more, as well as some more fuel and products for restocking. I then carried on my daily work duties before Uncle called me and talked about how I could make a small purchase to bring the bathrooms back to life. Doing this allowed customers to use them for a fee, therefore boosting our profits slightly each time. The workday continued and my stress levels were rising, all until someone in their car started honking their horn and I got annoyed, so I whipped out the broom and sent them into orbit. That'll teach them. I carried on with my work and ordered some new snack products from the computer before restocking the shelves and spending the rest of the night on checkouts and fuel refilling. The sky was turning dark and my eyes were droopy, but I suddenly lit up with excitement to see that we had officially reached popularity level 2. Now we can get even more recognition from customers. Before the day rolled over, I decided to be sneaky again and crouched behind a customer's car to picklock it. This time I only found myself $5, then went to the checkout and gave that same person some good customer service. Day 4 came by and in the early hours of the morning I heard the soft jingle of something in the sky. I looked up and saw Santa? What are you doing here? I'm pretty sure it's not Christmas yet. Okay then, moving on. I worked on checkouts and refueling for some time to build up my bank, and when I eventually hit the $500 mark, I used it to purchase the workshop. This building allows for cars to park up inside and I can do some work on them. Whether it's changing a tyre or fixing a side mirror, I was now the man to do the job. Before this, however, I carried on my menacing tasks and went for the gold. I lockpicked a policeman's car and all I saw was $5. Not worth it. A car arrived inside the workshop, so I locked in and began my first task. I was honestly a little confused, but after some time and tutorials, I slowly got the hang of it and let the customer go with some nice new parts. Time flew by and I got a notification saying that we were running low on fuel. Me being the good new owner, I took to the computer and purchased as much fuel as I could, then tending to my customers' needs before Elon rocked up and filled up the tank for me. The next few hours were spent doing work, and after finishing up with the checkout counter, I saw that we had made it to popularity level 3. We are really speeding things up now. The night was arriving and the trash outside was piling up, so I quickly ordered a garbage collection and watched all my troubles disappear before the night ended. I saw that we had a task to do on day 5, well, more of a challenge, and I wanted to put my time and efforts into completing it. I carried on my duties of checking customers out and refueling the cars, and after some good few hours money making, I managed to complete this challenge. It unlocked a few things for us, including access to purchase alcohol, cigarettes and ice cream, so you best know what I did next. Yep, I bought the shelves and freezers for each of these and stocked them up to the brim with new products. Afterwards, I noticed that my tyres were running low too, so I called up another delivery for some car parts. I waited for the delivery to come through and listened to the creepy laugh of Dennis getting closer. I really hate this kid. I located his whereabouts and launched a cone at him, making him run away, but the damage was already done. So sad. I didn't worry about the damages to the outside too much, but it did make me realise that I desperately needed to paint the inside of the station. I can't leave it looking ugly like this. Day 6 came around and I carried on my working duties until the challenge was complete, and I was now able to upgrade the station to level 3. This now unlocks many different upgrades and decorations for us, but that's more for the future. Finishing up the challenge also allowed us to achieve popularity level 4, which is a nice little bonus. Our workshop stock was looking rough, so I booted up the computer and ordered some more fuel and car parts, then began painting the outside of the station while I waited. Time went by and the gas station was looking nicer by the second, Then I decided to give it some more decorative pieces by purchasing the bus stop restoration, allowing for big loads of customers to come in at once. In very little time, the bus stop was used up and a party bus full of dinosaurs and aliens came in. Wait, is that right? Yeah, I guess so. They rimmed both the station shop and the bathrooms and made a huge mess too. Great. Still funny though. The payphone went off again and I picked it up to hear Uncle's voice telling me that it was now time for me to hire some help, some employees. I loved this idea, but unfortunately my bank didn't, so I had to work late into the night to raise my bank value and hopefully get that new hire soon. Our day started early with a quick order of some tyres and fuel for the station to function properly. Then carried on some work for my money. A few hours later, our cash was built enough for us to purchase the first employee camper van, and along with this, we hired our first employee. Look at this little guy. I set him up for the day shift and made him repair cars and clean the station. It's going to be so handy having another worker here, but we are still going to be working extremely hard. I carried on my duties throughout the day and had a quick break to order some car parts. More hours passed by and my back started hurting, so I took another break, grabbed a beer and took a seat on the bench. Cue cutscene. The views were lovely and my beer was cool, soothing. Life was nice. Until some guy named Joe came out of the sky and crashed his plane into the sand dunes in the distance. Well, there goes my relaxing afternoon. Ugh, okay. Days 8 and 9 were pretty busy for me, and to start, I needed some more products to restock the shelves. They were soon stocked to the brim, almost. And a few orders went through on the checkout until a small cutscene played and showed how we managed to reach popularity level 5. This has been so quick. As cool as the station was looking so far, it was still very far from completion. I decided to pick up every shelf off the floor for a quick change up, but before the edits, however, I made a speedy purchase for some fuel, then sold the shelves in order to buy the larger versions of each one. I tried to purchase more product but realised that my warehouse was full. Not ideal, but we had a workaround. I purchased the warehouse level 2, and this increased our capacity for products and fuel, which is perfect for us. The computer was loaded again and I purchased more products as well as car parts, before stocking up and rushing around to give my customers great service for the rest of the flight. Customers were going absolutely crazy, buying me out of everything in stock. So on day 10 I had to make another purchase of plenty more products to keep up with demand. I wanted to clean up the surrounding area of any debris or trash bags, and in doing so, I lined up my sights and hit a nasty long shot with a hay bale. So there's that. I checked it on my worker in the workshop and noticed that we were running low on pretty much everything, so I opened the store page back up and bought myself some more car parts. While waiting for the delivery truck to come in through, I also spent some of my cash to level up the workshop again and was now able to order some oil. My loyal customers were going wild and my shelves in the store and workshop were dropping low. I had to make another order of some snacks and car parts, then along with this, I bought 2 more shelves for car care and newspapers. They were swiftly placed down and I made another purchase for the products of these shelves. Without even realising, the tip bar raised by 1 and the challenge was finally completed. Look at us go. To end off our busy day, we made another order for fuel as we were very close to emptying the tank, then overlooked our worker to see how he was doing, and the man sucked at cashier work. And I mean, he messed up half of the time. Not good. I took him off of cashier work and I took over, hoping that we would get more money from the tips alone. Whilst hard at work on the checkout counter, my nose started to pick up a scent. I followed the trail and ended up at the garbage skip by the gas station. It stinks. I held my nose shut and ran to the computer to order a garbage collection in hopes of getting rid of that foul smell. They came around and swiftly removed the mess, and it was safe to breathe once again. I went back inside and noticed that my shelves were becoming empty, so again I ordered tons of products and car parts, using a lot of my money. To combat my spending habits, I resorted to desperate measures and began lockpicking a policeman's car. I was sweating and stressing, but then the lock snapped open, revealing a few dollars and a piece of a drum set, which was later sold. Perfect. I used this new cash to level up the gas station to level 4, unlocking plenty of special items that will later come in use. The payphone started to ring again, and I reluctantly picked up the phone to hear Uncle once more. I wish I didn't though. I swear Uncle has this godlike power, as he summoned a sandstorm that came straight for the station. It started causing issues for us, and I began seeing sand debris blocking common pathways for the cars to travel through, so something needed to be done. I hopped into the excavator and began moving the sand off to the side, clearing the spaces and allowing our customers a safe and smooth ride from now on. Let's hope that doesn't happen again. Day 14 rolled on by, and I awoke to the upset murmurs of my customers complaining about having no fuel in the tank. I rushed to the computer and put in an order for some more fuel, then stood by the tank awaiting the driver's arrival. I watched Elon hop out of the truck and fill me up. Hold on, what? Let's just carry on, okay? Walking into the station, I saw absolutely nothing on the shelves, so I had a store-wide emergency and closed the whole place down to restock it all. Hours flew by and the place was looking busy with products once again, and I opened up shop and watched the first load of customers come through. We were looking pretty comfortable with our money, so I purchased the second employee camper van and managed to hire our second employee. Now we have 2 busy workers with us. I put worker number 2 on the night shift and gave him the same roles as worker 1. Then I let him get some rest before their first big shift. Our biggest moneymaker right now in my eyes was the workshop, and more specifically, it was the tyres. On average, we usually have to change between 1 and 3 tyres per car, and each one gives us around $60, so this is a very important part of our business. I took to the computer again and spent a large majority of our money to purchase as many wheels as we can. The delivery truck came around and I stored everything within the warehouse, then carried on with the rest of my night by finishing up the paintwork to make this place look even better. It took a little time, but we managed to get it done, and I was extremely happy with my work, and then it happened. I heard the little giggles of Dennis, and I refused to let him ruin my hard work. I chased the little gremlin off and made sure that no damage was done, definitely patting myself on the back for that. Our fuel was running severely low, and to add to that, our shelves were looking bare again. So on day 15, I used the computer and made a quick order of some of these, then snuck outside of the station and picklocked a policeman's car while I waited. This picklock was a challenging one, but it eventually cracked open and snatched myself a piano. How does that even fit in a car? I sold this off and now had enough funds to purchase the car wash fix-up. This was a cool new feature to our station, but before we could do anything with it, I had to venture into the sewers and fix the water pressure. I took my time with every other step and heard growls of something big and scary in the distance. I was not liking this one bit. I kept moving forward on day 16 and made my way to a small room with trash on the floor. I heard that distinct growl again, and I looked over to see Gustav sitting in the sewer pipe, just waiting for a snack. My fear quickly dropped and I threw a trash bag at him, which he loved. I kept doing it, and as the last bag hit Gustav's mouth, the water pressure went back up and I could now use the car wash. Before that, however, I could hear the faint ringing of the payphone again, so I picked it up and heard Uncle desperately trying to get my attention. He was looking for some valuable items and needed me to picklock some more cars in order to find it, so of course I agreed. I spent a few hours trying to complete the challenge, but I had to make a quick purchase of some more car parts. The time was ticking down fast, and I knew that I wasn't going to be able to finish this, so to fill the void of sadness, I did some retail therapy and ordered some more products for the shop. While stacking the shelves, I noticed the wind starting to pick up, and I knew that it wasn't good. I looked outside and saw another sandstorm approaching the station fast. Damn, I hate this. Day 17 arrived, and since my money was looking good, I decided to buy a second fuel pump at the front of the station and a new parking spot to allow for more customers. This did work as customers started to flood in, but this caused a lot of our items to drain insanely fast. So, to combat this, I put in an order for some more fuel and some car parts to keep the workshop in top condition. This place was becoming hectic, and we needed all the help we could get. So I purchased a third camper van and hired our next employee. This guy will be on the day shift, and I made him work on fueling cars and manning the checkout. I showed him his workstations and he felt at home, then got busy. A couple of hours went by and he seemed to be adjusting quite well, and even helped us achieve popularity level 6. Such a great worker. I spent some time restocking the shelves and fueling cars alongside the workers until Uncle called again and reactivated the picklocking challenge. This time around, I was determined to finish it. So until the dead of night, I snuck around the car park and investigated every car that entered the station, picklocking them as best I could, and when the countdown was dropping, my numbers were raising, and after some time, the challenge was finally complete. That took way too long, and what did Uncle give me as a reward? $100. Yeah, not worth it at all. My nights were rough, since party buses kept coming through and making a mess of my place, so on days 18 and 19, my first call of action was to put worker 3 onto the night shift, so he can cover the parties without me. I let him know and carried on with my work, which started with a quick order of some more fuel, then moved over to the store page and purchased 2 more toilets for customers to use, and for me to make more money of course. I checked in on the workshop and saw that we were running low on a lot of items, so an order for some more car parts was swiftly made and restocked into the correct places. I took some time to research through decorations and features to purchase and came across some hat racks and glass stands, so I bought some, as well as the appropriate products to stock them up, and some more car care products too. Our money was raising pretty fast, so before the days were officially over, I booted up the computer one last time and purchased the level 3 warehouse and workshop upgrade, boosting my stock capacity as well as my workshop load. I wanted to spruce up the place a little bit on days 20 to 23, so I took to the decorations page and bought myself 3 palm tree decoration pieces, making our place look a little bit more exotic. At the same time, because of my love for basketball, I bought myself an interactive basketball hoop and played ball for a few hours before getting back to work and purchasing some more product stands. I placed them down and had to make sure they were packed and stocked up, so I ordered some more products and car parts, then used some more of the money to upgrade the car wash to level 2, and even had some spare to order a fuel refill. Some hours went by and I stood with my employees hard at work, then decided to purchase some more decorations for the inside of the station. And by decorations, I mean plants, because you can never have too many plants. The wind started getting stronger again and I knew exactly what that meant for me. I was tempted to leave my workers to deal with it, but as I glanced at the side of the screen, I could see how close we were to completing the challenge, so I had to focus up and move the sand debris as soon as possible. The sandstorm blew past us and we managed to keep our roads smooth, and whilst the customers came rolling in, I decided to finish up my workday with a quick delivery of some more products for the station. I woke up early on day 24 and quickly stocked up the delivery we ordered yesterday, and as the last product hit the shelf, the last ticker clocked over and we managed to finally complete the challenge. That took a little bit too long, but we did it at last. This challenge was also a big benefit too, as we made plenty of money during it, and with this newfound cash, I was able to upgrade the gas station to level 5. We are close to being the best gas station possible. Although I was extremely pleased with the progress we had made so far, I was also sad at the fact that our outside walls were being defaced and graffitied on by Dennis. I just couldn't let this slide. I began to devise a plan to bring Dennis down, and to start, I ordered a wall paint service for $500. Not sure why it cost that much, but let's hope they make it look all nice and good again. They arrived in quick time and got to work, and I'm very glad to announce that they did a great job. I'm proud of them. As I was about to pick up the checkout counter, I heard the payphone again and sighed. What does this man want now? I answered and Uncle told me that I still owed him money, so I paid up and he seemed happy. Cue another cutscene. The cutscene was just me meeting an oddly strong yet innocent looking man with a teddy bear, who began talking to me for a long time, and you best believe I zoned out again. The man's yapping session ran into the next few days, until he eventually ended it and gifted me with a Dennis defense system. This system will sense when Dennis is coming and start blaring sirens, so it's a perfect addition to our place. It was all coming together now, but I was starting to dislike the repaint that we got, so I repainted the station white. Once finished, I looked around to make sure it was all good and painted well, then ventured inside the station to see our shelves empty and our fuel supply running close to zero. I couldn't have that any longer. I booted the PC up and put in some more orders. The first load was for fuel and products for the store, then the second was for some item stands. The 2 trucks were coming through, and I then decided to make a third delivery and buy some more car parts to keep the workshop running smoothly. I carried on the painting of the area, but this time focusing on the workshop, as I feel like I may have been neglecting it for a while. I spent time painting it as the same colour as the station, and when nearing the end of my job, I could once again smell that awful scent that seemed to be pushing away my customers. I ran past the smell and ordered another garbage collection, and whilst they were on their way, I needed to make another quick purchase of some products, fuels for the car, and car parts to keep everything as stocked as possible for the night shift. Day 29 was a great day for the gas station. To start, I got some work done and helped out my fellow employees. During some product restocking, a small cutscene played again and showed that we had reached popularity level 7. Our shop is going to be flooded with customers soon. I kept hearing the voice of Joe from the plane crash telling me to get things done, so I did as he asked and began cleaning up the trash and spider webs from the barn. It took me some time and it was looking better. Then I hopped into the truck and drove over to the crash site. Joe was sitting there in his plane just chilling and was desperate for me to help him out. I attached the plane to the truck and drove back to the barn, where I later bought some duct tape and repaired the holes in his plane wings. I had a word or two with Joe about him talking smack over the intercom, and I did him a favour by buying the airstrip and went further with a quick upgrade. We were slowly gaining wealthy status, so I bought 2 more camper vans and hired 2 employees to work for my business, then also unlocked the ice cream stand as well as the party spot. The ice cream stand is pretty self-explanatory. My workers will serve ice cream. That's pretty much it. But the party spot is a place that every 2 days, a party bus will rock up to the station and a few people will jump out and have a small rave. This is great, but it gets better, as you can stock up the baskets for the party spot, and doing so will give you a ton of popularity points. Anywhere between 200 and 350. Moving on, I put in another order for some duct tape and aviation fuel for the airport, then another order for some car parts and products for back at the station. The station's operations were going well, and all of the employees were working extremely hard, so much in fact that I felt like I didn't need to do anything. I took a step back from the station and ventured to the barn, where I later purchased the communications center and the trade strip. These 2 new upgrades work hand in hand, as they both enable me to make good trades with incoming planes for products that I cannot buy from the computer, so that's always a great benefit. Day 31 was the day that we ordered products for a special reason. I read the communications center and knew exactly what I wanted, and when the plane came through, I refueled it for the next flight and did my first play trade. We got some international goodies now, and I'm sure that my customers will love them. The plane left and I checked to see when the next one was coming through, then went to the computer and purchased some more products for the next trade. I was feeling so good. That was until Joe hogged the headset again and crashed. Someone best remove this man's license, I swear. I let the man cry and moan as much as he wanted. I wasn't getting him just yet, he can wait. Instead, I used my money to purchase the ice cream stand and changed an employee's job to focus on serving up only the best ice cream. Of course, we can't serve ice cream without anything in stock, so I put in an order for some ice cream flavors and waited for them to arrive. This didn't drain my money as much as I thought, so I bought the level 4 upgrades for both the warehouse and the workshop. Then, to finish my long and stressful day, I purchased some more car parts and spark plugs for the workshop. I awoke on day 32 to my employees panicking about our fuel supply, so I had to rush out of bed and order some more fuel for both planes and cars. Joe kept complaining throughout the entire delivery, so I gave up and hopped in the truck to go collect him. I don't know how this man keeps doing this, but the more he does, the more my patience drops. I got him back to the barn, fixed up his plane and fueled it up, then he offered a quick little trade with me and I exchanged some products for blueprints. Okay, I'll forgive you for now, Joe. During this whole fiasco, my workers were making big money, and so I did what a good boss would always do. Yep, I spent it on an airstrip upgrade for more storage. Oh, did you think I meant give them a raise? Ha, not just yet. Midnight was approaching, and to end my night, I transferred some items I wanted to trade into the airport storage, then got some more work done at the station. I needed to make some purchases early in the morning, so the first thing I did was boot up the computer and bought some more products for trades later on, as well as some base products for the store and a premium shelf, so I could stock them up later with the trades I make. My workers were doing so well that our money was almost at an all-time high, and I used a portion of it to upgrade our workshop to level 5. With this upgrade, we can now repair 2 cars at once, effectively doubling our income from the workshop. Perfect. I looked around the new additions and then saw the outside of the station defaced once again, so I had to order another repaint and some more car parts while I waited for him to arrive. The workload between the station and the airport was immense, so to tackle this issue, I bought a new camper van and hired yet another employee to help out. I showed him to his new living quarters and gave him some duties, and he got busy straight away, allowing me to now focus on the next topic at hand, which is purchasing some more aviation fuel for incoming trades. Next on the list was to clear some of the sand out of the roads to allow smooth driving for the customers, and to do this I needed to refuel the excavator and get to work. Although the excavator was stupidly slow, we still managed to get it done before night finished, and checked it off my list. I noticed that a large portion of my income was coming from the fuel pumps, and similar to the workshop, I wanted to make this even greater. I made my way to the computer and bought myself the next fuel pump upgrade, enabling me to fuel 3 cars at once, and this was a huge bonus for us. Whilst looking through the computer's pages, I decided to purchase another massive load of products for the store, fuel for both cars and planes, then some more car parts for the workshop. The deliveries came one after the other and started filling up the warehouse fast, and I ultimately chose to split our products up in half and transfer some to the airport storage, allowing me to spend the last few hours focusing purely on trades while my workers hold down the fort. I was roaming around picking up trash and random items off the floor, and I channeled my inner Steph Curry by hitting a new long shot record of 75 meters. Maybe I should go into sports myself. The trades were treating me very well as of lately, so I kept my focus on refueling the planes and giving them trades that they could never refuse. Well, I suppose they could, but why would you do such a thing? This carried on for a while, and I broke the streak to revisit my workers and see how everything was going. I checked in on the workshop and the racks were running scarily low, so I made a quick purchase of some car parts and some aviation fuel, because why not? I completed a trade very early in the morning and got myself a premium drink, the first of its kind so far. I put it on display within the shop and had to listen to some more wind outside the store. Please stop with these sandstorms, I beg of you. Whilst my vision was covered, I marched my way toward the excavator once more and cleared some of the sand debris that was blocking some main pathways, and once it was all ready, I ghosted the excavator into the horizon and had a nice cold beer on the bench overlooking our hard work. I bet you're thinking, nothing could ruin this view. Yeah, I was thinking that too, but you best believe that Joe came in over the mic, screaming and crying. I looked into the sky, and although I was being blinded by the lights, the parts I could still see were covered with Joe's plane coming down at an alarming rate. There ain't no way this man crashed again. I helped Joe out once more and fixed up his plane before he so graciously gifted me with another blueprint at a reduced cost. He told me to use the lights to help him give a smooth liftoff, and once he was up in the air again, I carried on haggling trades from all different regions. Visitors from all over the world came to my airstrip, and with each plane, I filled up their gas tank and offered some goods. An employee of mine called me up and mentioned how our gas supply was running quite low, so I purchased as much as I could. Then whilst I waited for the truck to arrive, I scoured the different tabs and also purchased a pneumatic hammer tool and an airbrush. The hammer tool will come in handy later, as it allows us to completely revamp how our place looks, not like our paint does. The airbrush, however, allows us to put decals and stickers over our buildings, which can make it look even better. As much as I look forward to using these new toys, I kept them away for now and made another purchase for some car parts to make sure our cash flow stayed as productive as possible. I tried to stay as busy as possible during days 39 and 41, and for me to do this, I kept my focus mainly on the incoming plane trades. I later purchased the warehouse level 5 upgrade for more capacity, and the level 3 and 4 upgrades for the car wash. These car wash upgrades don't specifically do too much as of right now, but the next upgrade is the one that I am truly excited for. For $12,000, we can make the car wash automated. How cool is that? But I definitely have some saving to do. I let my workers carry on their day whilst they carried on with the trades, buying not only products but decorations for me to sell also. Trades were being negotiated left, right and centre, and as some hours go by, we were now able to buy the auto car wash. I stayed nearby to see how it worked, and although it was fairly slow, it still brings in passive income, and that's what I love to see. I fixed the water pressure, then left it to make me some money, while I quickly played some board games with my dog. I came back and decided that now would be a perfect time to shut down the gas station and make some big changes using that hammer tool I mentioned previously. I'm not too sure what I wanted it to look like, but it seemed like there were plenty of options for me to choose. I found some great roof designs and wall decals, so I began changing the place up, relocating windows and doors, then moving over to the bathroom and making sure it was looking just as nice. Several hours and days were spent doing this, as I wanted it looking perfect, before later opening the shop and restocking everything. I ensured that the customers arrived in a safe manner, then travelled back to the airstrip and carried on with my trades. I'll say it now, during that whole station revamp, I had Joe chatting up a storm in my ear, and he didn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. So on day 44, I got fed up with him talking and hopped in my truck to go and pick him up. It felt like every time he did this, he would land further away, but maybe that's just me. I got him back safe and did what I needed to in order for him to leave. Whilst waving him goodbye for what I hope is the last time, I booted up the PC and bought some aviation fuel as we were running low once again. And for the remainder of the day and night, I continued my plane trades and did my best to get products as well as decorations to sell. I felt like spending some big money on day 45, so let's get straight into it, shall we? I started fresh and early by purchasing some new airport upgrades, and in doing so, it boosted me as much as I needed to reach popularity level 8, which, as you could have guessed by now, it means more customers on the way. The spending spree was far from over, as I then bought the level 1 and 2 upgrades for the party spot and the level 2 upgrade for the ice cream stand. I took a small break to purchase some more products and stock up the party time vending machines, and then carried on the spending by purchasing the gas station level 6 upgrade, the airport storage level 2 upgrade, and the ice cream stand level 3 and 4 upgrade to finish off. As night slowly approached, I made sure that the ice cream stands were full up and then slept peacefully in my barren room. Ah, luxury. Considering what we did yesterday, I was pleasantly surprised that we still had some money left over. So let's just keep spending. I began my day by bulk buying a load of car parts, making sure to focus on tyres as they were the big money makers, and whilst I waited for Mr. Delivery Man to come around, I bought a max tank of aviation fuel, lowering my bank balance to almost zero. I saw some customers standing outside the station looking confused, so I had to figure out why. Turns out that because of the layout within the station, some things were inaccessible, so I spent some time making sure that everything was accessible to the best of my ability, and during so, I ordered some more products for the shelves that were looking low on stock, and some further car fuel to keep our tank as full as possible. I completely forgot about the party spot, and I strolled over to check to see the countdown gone, and the words "party soon" in bright neon lights. I'm kind of excited to see what is about to happen. I waited in excitement, and eventually I saw a party bus zooming towards me. It had dancers lining the top of the bus, and it honestly looked so funny. When the bus arrived at its destination, it seemed to get a bit stuck on a small mound of sand, and when I tried to move it out of the way, I just decided to give up. I thought of an idea of how to fix it all, and so I walked to the front of the station and reset all of the cars. The screen started glitching and a UFO came out of the sky, sucking up all of the cars from the area and zooming away. The good news is that it did in fact fix the party bus, but the bad news is that the party ended as I did this, so now I have to wait again. I made sure to not feel down about this and had to carry on work by collecting up all of the products from the shelves within the store, as well as the shelves themselves, and now decided to use these for trades instead, as I believe that it could possibly bring in more money in the long term. I kept the trades going, keeping all of my exotic goods within the airport, and with the money from the workshop and car wash, I decided to purchase the level 6 warehouse upgrade in order for us to perhaps buy and store even more products in the future. The clock was ticking near the end once more, and in the early hours of day 49, it was party time, and this time I made sure I was ready for it. The bus came through and was now allowing passengers to jump out, and the party had officially begun. I spoke to a few people and watched their sick dance moves before seeing the party end and our popularity percentage jump up. I kinda like it this way. I decided to get ahead of the game by putting in an order for some products and restocked the party supplies, then topped up the aviation fluids as I wanted to keep up our trades business. It was starting to look like our employees were doing a great job at cleaning the place up, as multiple of the garbage lots were becoming close to full. So I walked over to the computer for the last time today and purchased a quick garbage collection. I stood close by to the station waiting for the collection to arrive and noticed that it was starting to look a little boring to my eyes, so I thought about what changes I could do. I agreed that once I breached that $20,000 line, then I will begin changing what I wanted. This somehow didn't take too long for me to achieve, however, as after a few more trades, I sold all of the decorations I had gained, and this now pushed me across that 20,000 mark. Looks like we got some decorating to do. This is quite good timing actually, as on day 50, just halfway through, I shut down the gas station and got to work redecorating the place. It took a few attempts to get it right, but once I did, it was looking so much nicer to me, and I also made sure to switch up the windows and doors layouts too. The only issue I was having was that the inside wall layout was a little odd, and so I chose to purchase the level 7 upgrade for the gas station, giving me just that little bit more space, which I greatly appreciated. One of the last steps of this change was to order another set of painters to come in and paint all of it white, as there was nothing better than a simple minimalistic look. We were almost finished with the decorating and worked side by side with the painters to make this place look perfect. A couple of hours went by and the painters approached me saying that they were finished. They work extremely quick and make everything look so good. I'm loving this place, but then disaster struck. The alarm started blaring, the panic began to set in. Dennis was coming. I tried to find something to throw at him fast, but nothing was in reach, and by the time that I met him eye to eye, he had already ruined such a nice new wall. Guess I'll just call the painters back. I spent another $600 on them and let them work while I stocked everything up and reopened the station. As the cars flooded in, my employees let me know that I should probably order some more fuel, and he was right. I put in a last minute order and awaited for the arrival. Gosh, my workers are so good. Maybe I should get more of them. I then purchased the last 2 camper vans and hired my last 2 employees. I showed them around the place and put them on the appropriate shifts and work, then set them off to do as they pleased. I was sound asleep in my cozy bed when a worker woke me up asking for me to restock the workshop. I did as he asked and then bought more car parts, focusing on tyres like normal, and at the same time I purchased some products to restock the party place, and just in time too. The truck pulled up and I enjoyed the music for a short while before snapping back to reality and listening to my employees stressing over low stock amounts. I quickly bought some more products for the shelves as well as some more aviation fuel for the airport. I got caught in a spending loop and further purchased several decorations surrounding the station and also asphalt roads so customers could clearly see where to go. I looked at our new additions and I was quite liking it. Maybe not the roads since it cuts out halfway through, but that's fine. The party seemed like a success and our popularity bar increased dramatically. So to keep this up, I upgraded the party spot once more and checked on it. The money was well spent as the place was looking a whole lot nicer and it made for a perfect end to a great night. Day 56 came along and I awoke to the beautiful sound of my cash flow rising faster and faster. Because of this, I decided that today was another big spending day in the books. To start off, I put in an order for as much fuel as I possibly could, then moved on to the upgrade tab and purchased the workshop level 6 and the warehouse level 7 upgrades. These 2 allowed me to finish off all the possible upgrades for the station, so let's finish off the entire thing, shall we? I carried on by buying up the radio tower level 2 upgrade, then moved on to the communications center from level 3 to level 6. After the last upgrade was paid off, we had officially bought up every possible one, and in only 56 days, that is crazy. The party spot countdown was close to ending, so I had to make a quick order of some products to restock the vending machines. Again, during this whole ordeal and past days, I still had Joe barking in my ear about me helping him. I felt bad this time since I hadn't helped him in a few days, and the old man can't cope in this heat, so I went to collect him, fixed up his plane as best I could, and hoped that he wouldn't fall out of the sky again whilst I sent him off. Alright, busy days to come. Let's just go. To start off this rough set of days, we began by purchasing some products for my trading work. The trades were going extremely well, so why not carry it on? Before travelling to the airstrip, however, I decided to buy the 4th and 5th bathroom stall for the customers, then ordered some products for the store and some more ice cream to keep the stand in business. I spent my hours after staying busy, refueling planes and getting some more international goods, and felt at peace with how life was going at the moment. That was until the sirens began screaming, and I had to rush back in order for me to prevent graffiti from the devious man himself, Dennis. I got there just in time and slapped a few pieces of trash off his head. Then he started running away, but I wasn't going to let him. I took the broom to his body and eventually just got him stuck in place. That serves you right, buddy. I carried on my shift and had to order some more car parts for the workshop, since we needed more money to come through. Although I was quick with the whole Dennis situation, he still somehow managed to get his payback, as I saw plenty of walls covered in crude graffiti. How does he keep getting away with this? I needed another visit from the painters, and whilst they started repainting the place, I kept my head down looking at the computer and ordered as much fuel as possible, again for both cars and planes. I also purchased 3 decorations to help give the place some pops of colour, or at least make it stand out a little more. Some more trades were completed throughout the night, and when I arrived back at the station, I noticed the party bus parking up and getting ready to drop off some dancers. I ran over to see how many people we would get today, and we got 1. 1? Are you kidding me? What is this joke? Ugh, I hate it. It truly was such a disheartening way to end this streak of days, but I wanted to keep my head held high and decided to close the gas station once more to begin construction for a 3rd time, hoping this was the one where I could find a design that I loved and would settle with. I worked on reconstructing the station for almost the whole day, making sure the walls were to my liking, the roof was appealing, and more importantly, the decorations were popping with the colour of nature. The time officially arrived and we reopened the gas station, watching the troves of customers come in. Well, they actually just took their sweet time, but you know, I can dream. I watched over my workers and made sure there were no complications, then made a late night purchase for some products to restock the store shelves and some car parts too. I was ready for some entertainment, as the shifts at the gas station were draining me so much. I ventured to the computer and bought the 2nd RC track, but before I tested it out, I wanted to do something. I wanted an achievement in my hands. See, my original plan for this video was to 100% this game, and one of these achievements was to beat the RC track in under 1 minute and 2 seconds. I tried over and over again, getting close to my goal each time, and on my last attempt for the night, I was feeling confident. The tyres twisted at the last corner, and I hit the finish line, but unfortunately, it was not good enough. My time ended up being 1 minute and 2.5 seconds. Literally 0.5 seconds away from my goal. How upsetting. I called it an early night, but decided to purchase some more products and car parts to keep the shelves full during the night shift, then got cozy in my bed and cried. I was sick and tired of running around from computer to computer, so I needed a new way of dealing with this. On day 64, I spent a large sum of money and bought myself a handheld computer, which is exactly what I needed. Whilst I was there, I bought the products necessary to restock the party spot entirely, as well as aviation and car fuel to keep the whole situation running well. Everything seemed to be going swell, and I was happy with the production and the employees, but whilst I was overviewing the employees' roles, I noticed an option called Premium that I could pay for $200. Curiosity got the better of me, and I paid the bonus fee, and to my surprise, the workers began going twice as hard, running twice as fast, scanning double the products they were before. I might have to do this a lot more. Today was the day that the RC track achievement was all mine. I was ready to spend the entire day doing this, and I was determined to get it done. Multiple attempts were made and multiple attempts were close, but it seems that my only faults during these were near the end of the runs. I thought about how I could counter this fact, and I went in for one last run. I kept my finger holding the W key, and as the last few turns went smoothly, I crossed the finish line and it was all mine. The achievement was finally complete. This must have taken me over 30 attempts, but I'm so happy I managed to get it done. To celebrate this achievement, I gave all of my workers a small raise and purchased myself a Ferris wheel. I approached it and oh my gosh was it large, but I liked it. I hopped on and took the ride, and it allowed me to see all across the entire station and even the airstrip. Such wonderful views. We had a few quiet days which I needed, and to get us started, I restocked the party spot vending machines after last time's success. Yeah, we don't worry about that. I needed to assist my employees during these days and get some proper work done in order to raise our daily revenue. All throughout the shift, I would take a small break and open up the handheld computer, where I ordered the painters to come round once more as it was looking rough again, then later purchased some more fuel and more products to keep the place busy while I took my time with the trades. Day 68 came around and I woke up to a very pleasant surprise. I fell out of bed and yawned up until a cutscene began to play and showed that we had reached popularity level 9. Just one more level and the last achievement is all ours. My day was already looking perfect, and I carried that sensation on by purchasing some ice cream refills from the store and then having my first attempt on the second RC track that I bought a while ago. This one was considerably longer, but I didn't mind it as it was a lot more enjoyable than the first, and definitely a great way to end the day. I tried getting some hours of sleep, but before my eyes could even shut, I heard the sirens blaring off again. What does this little kid want? I heard him giggling a bit, and when I approached him, I wasn't letting him get away. I whipped out the broom and got him stuck, but this time I picked him up on the end of it and carried him over to the power grid. Now he can stay stuck, hopefully that is. For a job well done, I treated myself to a little pat on the back and some more decorations, starting with buying the remaining cards for the needle, then moving on to buying several more decorations. The guys over at the workshop called me up and asked me to purchase some more car parts, so I agreed and put in an order for those, focusing mainly on tyres, as well as products for the party spot and some more fuel. I checked on my popularity level, and this time it was taking a lot longer to progress, but I was still motivated to get there and spent the last few hours grinding those percentages. Days 72 to 74 were big days where I focused primarily on making money and popularity. I started by restocking the party spot in order to get the maximum points possible, then took to the computer and ordered some more products. Although I needed to build my bank balance, I still wanted to spend away, and that's exactly what I did. I purchased the old man's guitar to finish up the interactable decorations, then bought even more to try and complete the whole list of 73 decoration pieces for the station. I wasn't able to finish it completely, but I do only have around 5 left for me to buy, although they do cost upwards of $10,000 and some even peak at $60,000. Yeah, that's gonna be rough. Regretting my choices slightly, I got back to work and put in an order for more products, car parts for the workshop, and a mixture of fuel. The parties were going crazy as of lately, and when I took a check on the bar, I saw the slight increase and got a little excited. I kept it up and restocked the party spot with the products I had saved within the warehouse before slumping up the stairs and taking a big ol' nap. These days were pretty tame, as like previous days I wanted to focus on building my cash flow and my popularity level. I had to order some more products to restock the store shelves, and with the spare items I had remaining, I restocked the party spot early on, ready for another rave. During that purchase, I did sadly forget about one vital part of my mission, and that was the trading aspect. So one more delivery was requested for some products so I could carry on my work haggling with the internationals. I had a few hours of sunlight left, and while the trucks were still running, I put in my last order of car parts to keep the night shift workers happy, then carried on with my trades until I fell into bed. Another relatively quiet day coming up, as on day 78 I once again focused on trades while my workers stayed busy with their shifts. Throughout the day, I had to order some more aviation fuel as these trades were coming and going with such speed. I also took the journey to the station and restocked the vending machines at the party spot, ready for the next event, then ordered some ice cream refills for the stand before returning to work for a few hours. My shift eventually finished and I made my way to the bedroom and, my lord, how boring does this place look. I've been so busy making the station look good that I neglected the very place that I sleep. This had to change immediately. I pulled out the handheld computer and bought many decorations that I later scattered around the bedroom, making it pop with a bit more colour than it was before. I looked around and although we were still far from perfect, it was definitely a great start. I carried on the decorations into day 79, and it seemed like I had a big plant problem, but I'm going to keep the plan going. I found some neon signs available for purchase and I placed them down, making the perfect segue into our 2,000 subscriber celebration. I know it's a little late and it's kind of late in the video too, but I just wanted to thank each and every one of you for subscribing. I never thought I would have gotten to this point, and I'm so thankful to say that it really motivates me to keep going. And for all of you that haven't subscribed, I still appreciate you for viewing, and a big thank you goes out to all of you also. Anyway, let's get back to the game. I needed to dispose of some trash bags, and my shots were looking crispy today, so I backed up, took aim, and hit a run and jump shot. The bag fell out of the heavens above, and we managed to hit a new long shot record of 103 meters. That is amazing. Just don't worry about the fact that it was nowhere near going in, let's just embrace the success. I held my head up high for the rest of the day and ended with a quick request of the painters to come back, hoping that they work their magic and make the place look pristine once more. Day 80 was similar to prior days, where I focused up and made sure to keep my attention on grinding popularity. I thought about what the best ways are to gain popularity, and I came to the conclusion that the party spot, trades, and cash register were my best bets. For this to be at maximum efficiency, I began my day by bulk purchasing tons of products for the trades, then using a small portion of these to restock the party spot. I spent several hours continuing the trades, making sure each customer coming through was satisfied with both the fuel quantity and the trade negotiations, and by the time the night arrived, I walked back over to the station and ordered the last set of fuel before calling it a night. Dennis somehow escaped the confines of the power grid and began charging towards the station, wailing his battle cry. I defended my property and once again got him stuck. I pushed his mannequin body across the road and kept him safe to carry on my work. I heard some cars honking their horns outside, and when I went to check on it, I saw someone trying to kidnap Dennis. Not too sure what my emotions are about this, I'll be honest. I kinda just watched it happen, and eventually the driver just caught me watching and dropped him off and left in quick time, so I guess he's safe for now. Yay? I don't know. I picked up his body once more, then kept him secure in the bin next to the airport, then carried on with my duties by purchasing more products and restocking the whole shop. Some more popularity grind coming within these days, as I was inching my way closer and closer by the minute. Of course, I had to begin my streak by restocking the party spot vending machines, as the products were simple enough and already in our warehouse. I made sure my workers were all ready for the days ahead, and gave them a short talk before retreating back into my hidey hole, which is in the barn, and carried on with my trades for hours on end. We had a great system going, as I would focus on my trains and refueling the planes, then whenever something went wrong or needed fixing within the station, a worker would call my phone and let me know so I could do it there and then. This didn't happen all too often during these days, but I did need to order some car parts for the workshop workers and some more fuel for the pumps. I feel like my co-workers and I had a great set of days, and this showed on our reports, where I read that the weekly revenue had hit an all-time high. This calls for a treat. I viewed some of the decorations I still had available to buy, and because of my passionate love for dinosaurs, I opted to purchase the Dino Park for around $15,000. A lot of money, I know, but come on, look at this. It was worth every penny. Now my workers can take their break and embrace Jurassic Park right next to us. The weekend was relatively quiet, which is always a good thing. The smell from the trash collectors were getting stinkier, so I did everyone a favour and ordered a garbage collection. I may even need to deep clean it at this point, but I'm not sure who to call for that one. Before I got busy with some trades, I had to put in a few orders, so let's go through some of them, shall we? To begin, the workshop called me up mentioning the lack of tyres on the shelves, so I told them that I would deal with it and ordered some more car parts in bulk. I then did my important work by purchasing a couple of products and restocking the party spot vending machines in order to get my popularity up. The guy at the ice cream stand later rang my phone and complained that the ice creams were all gone. I told the man to not worry about it and ordered some refills for every flavour possible. I wanted to get focused up and busy with some work, but yet another worker called me and asked for a quick fuel refill. So I accepted and nagged the truck drivers to do one last delivery before putting my phone in Do Not Disturb and knocking out in my bed. What a better way to start than a quick party time. A party bus arrived and the partygoers jumped out to start their rave. I joined in for a little while before getting back to work until the party officially ended. This one pushed us a lot more than I expected, and we are now so close to getting the next level, just 23% to go. This will be a breeze. My motivation was now at an all-time high, and we kept up the feeling by restocking the party spot as early as possible. I kept at the work with the other employees, and by the time night arrived, I made a last-minute purchase of some products for the store shelves, then went to sleep early, letting my night shift workers be productive. The money and popularity grind carried on through days 89 and 91, as I got my head down and nailed every last trade. I tried not to take breaks in between in order to be as efficient as possible. Some breaks were necessary, of course, and the first was spent on the computer trying to order some fuel and car parts to keep business going strong. I also didn't want to miss the big party, so another purchase of some products was made and the vending machines were promptly filled up to maximum capacity. The days rolled over and my employees' hard work, along with mine, eventually paid off extremely well, since our money was raising fast and our popularity was gaining faster than before. I wanted to end my night with a bang, and so I reached for the computer once more and purchased a few more decorations. Then I viewed how they looked within the station before joining in on the party and dancing my heart out like I was in Mamma Mia. Our party ran into the early hours of day 92, and when it finished, our popularity shot up to 97%. We are so close now. Just one more party and we have achieved our biggest goal yet. I purchased some more products for the store and stocked up the shelves to make the area look busier. I needed to come clean about something here though, as throughout the past 20 days or so, I have been working on another achievement behind closed doors, and that is the Jack of all trades. Now, this challenge isn't necessarily hard to get, but it does take some time. The Jack of all trades achievement is received when an employee reaches level 10 in every job, and today was that day. I carried on with my work for a few hours before hearing a loud noise and seeing a small icon show in the bottom corner, Jack of all trades. Our employee George had been working his old heart out for this whole time, and with my premium spending on him, he finally managed to achieve this goal. A big congratulations to him, and a round of applause goes out for your hard work. I was honestly so amazed with everything today, and before sleeping with sweet dreams, I made a quick demand for some fuel, then hopped into my bed to drift away. We had a very quiet day here, as between my busy work hours, all I really did was make some purchases. One for some car parts to be delivered to the workshop, and another for some products that were hastily packed away into the party spot vending machines, as our time was running out fast. Although yesterday was a calm day, it doesn't even compare to this one. I woke up from my bed and looked outside to see neon lights and smoke raising from the party spot. I cannot miss this one at all. I joined in with the groups of people having a blast and partied until everyone left. I prayed that this one was enough, and it was. The bar reached the end and the cutscene played. We had finally hit popularity level 10. That took so freaking long. I ran around and told the news to my employees, and we all celebrated as one big group before I set off and carried on the workday, ready for the weekend. The hours flew by today, and as it neared moonlight hours, our money was at an all-time high again, so something had to be bought on this great day. I pulled out my tablet and viewed the decorations, making one big purchase of a whale statue for $50,000. Was it worth it? Probably not, but I do not regret it one bit. Nothing was going to ruin my day, and I seriously meant nothing. Which leads us into the next topic, Joe. Joe has been wailing and crying to me for the past several days, and I finally had enough of him. I took the truck over to him, attached his plane to it, and while he was thanking me kindly, I pulled out the broomstick and flung him into the abyss. Well, I wish I did at least, but he kinda just got stuck on some mound in the distance. But luckily it was out of my reach, and now he had stopped barking in my ear. Life was so much better now. Now, don't judge me for these days, but I thought I was being an absolute genius, and spoiler, I failed the task horrendously. I began my span of days by ordering the usual fuel for both planes and cars. My master plan then began, and I thought that if I only sold the most expensive things, then people would buy more from me, therefore making more money. I sold all of my shelves apart from the toys and hat stands, then purchased several more of those too, and plenty of products to be stocked up. The 10 hat stands were packed up and stocked to the brim, and the few toy shelves that I had were stocked with as many pricey toys as I could get my hands on. I stood close by to make sure that my plan was working, and it just wasn't. Customers were complaining about missing products and only select ones came through and bought something. Well, that's not great, but I refused to change it again, especially this late. I ended this awful day by ordering even more aviation fuel and products for both trades and the party spot. While I waited for the delivery trucks to arrive with my goods, I asked for the painters to revisit the store and give it another pristine makeover. I kept up with my work, hopping back and forth between the trades and the checkout counter, and as nightfall slowly crept upon me, I almost forgot to restock the party spot, but managed to get it done before the timer hit 0. One last party to end it all. How perfect is that? Nothing was stopping me from enjoying the entirety of this party, and as the bus arrived, I hit every move possible and watched my fellow partygoers go crazy too. The party slowly began to die off, and as the last couple of people slumped their way into the bus, it was officially over. I didn't particularly want to do much today, but I spoke to my employees about their next steps in life, then picked up the shelves to sell them. As the sun began to set, I took one last ride on the Ferris wheel, and as it made its way to the top, I overlooked the hard work and dedication that my workers and I have put into this place. From the decorations to the expansions, our station may just be the best in the country. The wheel began to lower and the night sky fell on our gas station for one last night. So there we have it, 100 days of Gas Station Simulator. I'll be honest, this was the best simulator game I have played, and I really did not expect it to have so much content as it did. I loved playing this a lot, and I hope that the devs stick to updating it. If you enjoyed this video as much as I did playing it, then please consider liking the video, and perhaps subscribing to keep up to date with the content I release. And of course, like always, comment down below what games you'd love to see, and I'll be sure to check them out. I'd also love to thank all of you once again for 2,000 subscribers also, as it really means the world to me. But apart from that, stay hydrated and I'll see you all in the next one. Maybe it's time for me to take a dive next.